Hey guys, what's going on? Thomas Grabowski here. Hope you're having an amazing morning. I just wanted to jump on today and share with you an awesome recipe that you guys can make. Super simple. Just uses a few ingredients: one, two, three, four, five, six ingredients. And essentially, this is how to make your own healthy juice. And I think this is a fantastic way of getting a lot of micronutrients into your body and really flooding your system with the nutrients that your body needs to nourish itself, sustain itself, and give you high levels of energy. So I'm just gonna flip over and show you what I got here. So I got some apples, I got a lemon, celery, I got a knob of ginger, I got kale, and I got some carrots. So that's six. One, two, three, four, five, six. And essentially make it right now, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of, because I'm having something else for breakfast. It's about 8:30 in the morning. It's kind of late, but that's totally okay. I mean, I try to wake up around 6, 7. Like that's seven's my latest, but I was really up. I was up late last night. So, but anyways, you have your apple. So you start with like 1 to 2 apples. So as you can see, I got here, right? And this one's this one's bitten into. But sometimes even using stuff like this, it's like people are like, oh, that looks gross. But you know what? Like if you even like bit into an apple or something, you can still juice it rather than throw it out because it's like, it's still going in the same place. So whatever. So into 2 apples, and again, I cut this up. I would cut this up into halves, and then quarters. Just so it's easier to juice the apples. I'm using Omega juicer. Now this is like top of the line juicer. It's like a $300 juicer. It belongs to my mom, but I just use it because it's really, really good. And it juices at a really low rate. But we also do have another juicer. I don't think it's here, but it's a Breville. I might post a picture here so you guys can get an idea of what it is. But essentially, it's the same thing. But instead of it being horizontal like this, it's one of the typical juicers you'd see, and it's more high powered, and it juices a lot faster. This one is a more slower juice, so it extracts the nutrients a lot slower. I don't know the science behind it. Apparently this one's better because it doesn't I think it doesn't like heat up the fruit, but I'm not sure how like accurate it is because it's like super fucking slow. I find both of them do the same thing. I honestly like the Breville a little better. I know this is probably more like, I think it just extracts more juice out of it and you have less pulp. I think that's why it's like more of a high end, because you don't have as much pulp. But I might even make a video about that too. And it pumps out the pulp and it kind of goes into the waste bucket, which you can use for compost, which I highly, highly recommend, because that way you can actually grow your own food and then be a part of the nature cycle and actually support Mother Earth and support your own ecosystem. So doing your part as an eco warrior in helping restore Mother Earth, which you can do, just to let you know. So on with the recipe. So 2 apples, and after that I'd probably use like two of celery. Obviously you guys probably know what that is. I mean, if you don't, I mean, you're probably living under a cave, but to be honest, just you can either cut it off or just rip it off. I usually take the bottom ends off here and also the top ends as well, which is right here. I don't juice this. I don't know why. It's just kind of like a really hard section, and it's very, very bitter. So I don't know if it's more bitter, but it doesn't taste as good. I mean, you can try eating it. It's very hard to chew. So I just cut that off like I would normally make a celery. So top, bottom, 2 of those. Then I would use some ginger. I put in a little bit of ginger, maybe like an inch, quarter of an inch to an inch. Inch puts quite a bit though. Even putting an inch of ginger is gonna give the juice a really strong smell. Taste, and smell, I guess both. If you use like more than an inch, just be careful because the ginger may overpower the juice, so it's gonna taste more like a ginger drink than a juice, like a freshly squeezed juice. And if you do that, it might be a little too strong. Unless you really like that strong ginger thing, then go for it. But I would not recommend it just because it's way too spicy for my liking, for most people's liking, I would say, unless you're a really spicy ginger person. Then we have lemon again. So I would use half a lemon to a quarter lemon. Now this is not an organic lemon. This is just a conventionally grown lemon. I don't really recommend conventionally grown. I wouldn't say, hey, get like whatever fruit you can. Only because, I mean, I'd have to make a whole fucking video about it, but a lot of it has to do just with a lot. There's a lot to do with it. I would definitely choose organic over conventional, only for the fact is that organic doesn't have, in really, really short, organic doesn't have pesticide or herbicide, or pesticide or fungicide residue, and it's not sprayed with chemicals pretty much. So you're limiting the amount of chemicals going to your body, and those kind of chemicals can be neurodisruptive or reproductive disruptive. So literally, because those chemicals are destroying the intestinal walls of bacteria or of the guts of flies and other insects and pests. And it also affects their fertility as well. So imagine that shit that those insects eat to destroy their insides and to destroy their reproductive system. That's what's happening to you. So a lot of people who have reproductive issues, hello, it's with the food system, man. The food system is so fucked up. They spray so much garbage onto your food, and this is why another reason why it fuels me is to show people an alternative. It's like, hey, just by going organic, you're literally fighting the system by creating a new one. So it's not about fighting the old, it's about creating the new. So we got the lemon, we got the celery, we got the green apple, we got the ginger, we got the carrot. Oh, now we're on the carrot. So again, carrot, half a carrot. So one can use 2 carrots, depending on your metabolic type. If you're more of gravitate more towards starchy foods, you're more of a starch kind of person, then you can use a little more. However, if you're more sensitive to juices, I would highly recommend you hold back on the carrot, hold back on the green apples are fine, just because they're very low glycemic. They're low glycemic apples. But for the carrots, definitely hold back on them if you find that you're insulin sensitive, and like you're more likely to get blood sugar spikes. Then don't put too much carrot, but I would usually use like half a carrot to 1 carrot, sometimes even 2, depending how much I want. So between half a carrot to 2 carrots, I think 1 carrot is a great medium. So if you're just somebody looking to make a healthy juice, go for 1, and that'll also give balance and flavor to your smoothie, or sorry, your juice, so you can have more or a little more sweetness, because it can be a little dry, so to speak. It doesn't have as much flavor if you only use the apples. Okay. And last but not least, kale. Again, like I use quite a bit. Like I could probably use this whole thing in a juice, just because that's where I get a lot of my vitamins from, is from the juice. So I could probably use half of this, at least half. Honestly, just use your own discretion. You as you want, but again, don't use too much because it's gonna make it bitter. Best thing to well with kale, because the stem is pretty bitter. So what I mean by that is this part here, the thing in the middle. These stems aren't that big, but sometimes the stem is really big. So the stem here, this part and this part, it can be very bitter. So don't juice that. Try to. I used to juice it, just put the whole thing in full, but that was at the power blender. But since I have the slower blender now, I mean, I could use both. If it was a power blender, I would put the whole thing in, but I would still cut like the ends off, just like where it goes up and then it goes bushy. Cut it before the bush. So you can just like throw it in the garbage, or you can just throw it in the blender, man. My God. Anyways, so yeah, like that is it, and like that would be your juice, and this is something you can have first thing in the morning before you wake up. Honestly, you're gonna get a jolt of energy. It's gonna supercharge your body, and it's also gonna help like clear up your skin. That's a huge thing for me. Why juice is because it helped me clear up my skin. Also, if you're like going through like a lot of stuff in life, like maybe you're going through trauma, or you're maybe going through some really hard times, juices are a great way to cleanse a lot of the energy that you're holding on to. So like, let's say you are in an abusive relationship, or you have been experiencing a lot of fight or flight reflexes, a lot of like, like fight or flight symptoms, like being hypervigilant, or being anxious a lot, or you're just like constantly worried about things. Like this juice will help kind of like calm you down and help move that energy in and out. because if you hold on to that stagnant energy, it ends up building up, and that's how you get sick. So that's why when you drink juices, like high quality nutrition juices, it's gonna like flush you out completely, not only physically but also mentally and emotionally. That's why a lot of people don't eat healthy, is because there's issues that they haven't resolved yet. And if you do have issues, you can always contact me, 226-504-4225. Text me or email me at thomasg@techsavvy.com. It's TEKSAVVY.com, and I can gladly schedule an appointment with you so we can work more on these issues that you may be working with. So yeah, so totally awesome. That's how you make a juice. It's just the basics of juicing. I say juicing 101. This is the juice I make, and it's really good since, again, the green apples are more low glycemic. They're not as sweet, but then again, you have the organic carrots to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. So yeah, that's how to make a juice. Hope you find this information informative. Share with your friends, share with the world. Let everybody know how to make a healthy juice so people can around the world start taking care of their health, start taking ownership of their own lives, and start being a healthier, happier, and more self-expressed themselves. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the other side.